over here.
Hi.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten
That's right, some Squidbillies.
But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC, it's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War.
What?
Former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Wait. Wasn't he one of the guys that got court-martialed and like murdered? Dude. Wait, you're a clone of a man? How's that work?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing.
Oh.
Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Are there any more of your programs still out there?
I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
Damn, dude, that is crazy. So she is the clone of one of the 3 people that were actually convicted of war crimes for the biggest war this universe has seen. Wow. Wow. What does this have to do with us addressing the cabinet?
I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
You're not your father. If the cabinet doesn't see that, it's their problem, not yours.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to
Dang,
know,
dude.
considering how much you've done already.
What a curveball.
You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Can you tell me more about your father?
I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy, perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me too. But Ve Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
Your eyes, they're red. Is that a result of the cloning?
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. the human eye included, where the name Red Devils came from in the first place.
Interesting.
It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training.
That's cool.
So as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. Something we don't want anyone else to have to experience. Then I guess
Let's
it's
do
just
it.
a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Keep it moving.
All right. Oh God, Mass Effect vibes right now.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Just following orders.
Well, I'll be sure your commanding officer hears that you've done them satisfactorily. Now then, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We need the archival data to find a way to stop a possible Terramorph apocalypse.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
It wiped out a colony that never saw it coming. That's pretty alarming. I only know what I was told. The tissue mash one's from Londinian.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, Given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
If there's a chance what happened in Tau City could happen elsewhere, we need to grant the request.
Whatever risks exist, they are outweighed by this imminent threat. I agree. The request should be granted.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Well, I am not. I've heard nothing here to convince me that we should do anything but wait. And I will not risk galactic peace on a question of if.
Yes, a fair assessment, Chief Diplomat. So then, while the data you two have presented is compelling, I think we can safely say it's insufficient for the level of action you've requested. Perhaps once we
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport.
Dude, what?
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Oh no.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
I'm super encumbered.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Yes, you
Quick, carry all my stuff.
Keep. Very good.
Whoa. Oh, cool. A bunch of guys were showing up to protect them. That's awesome.
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got.
We're trying to help you!
What in the hell is going on? What?
Please!
What is happening? What? Oh, keep shooting them.
Cowards.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't
Oh, the
want to hurt them.
Terramorphs can mind control?
The way
That's
those
what's
people
happening?
were acting. I've seen this before.
Oh.
They were under the Terramorphs' influence, weren't they?
Jeez, man.
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Dude, Terramorphs are scary.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet.
Supreme, I sure am.
You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Okay. Do I need to worry about you turning on me?
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there. Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Dude. Dang, I don't have a weapon for my girl, but that's okay. We'll make this work.
No time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
Issued for the Spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
Don't just stand there! Good!
Wait, officer. Are you and this woman experts? Whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter.
Is this Starship
They said
Troopers?
you've done this
Yes.
before. Well, we've our team to spare and whatever supplies you can bring. I can't risk them taking over anymore.
I can't steal that salt and pepper shaker.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your six.
Yo, I like your
Did you
helmet.
have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the
What is this
brief I just gave
helmet?
on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
You two stay put.
Your call. We're on the line.
Yeah, I'll take care of this, man. I don't trust you. I feel like we're gonna bring them and they're just gonna screw things up. I can't move. There we go. Not real, chat. Chat, it's not real.
rest of the city is safe, thanks to us. You deserve whatever accolades you have coming.
There was that much damage was caused by 3 of them? Okay.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place.
Y'all held the line, you're the heroes, not us.
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Don says, hear me out. Think of the military applications. Maybe we should capture one.
The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before...
I think that's just common sense, to be honest. Yeah. I'm sure the best thing to put on giant signs everywhere is evacuate! Panic! Panic! Evacuate! I'm sure that's exactly what would be on real signs around cities. Panic! Panic!
They said you're free to come and go.
That's a relief to hear. How much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
Yeah, like my access to the
Cabinet's
archives.
full backing to prevent more attacks. Understand?
Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city
Dude, is
today,
this just the beginning of this quest
as
line?
well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs will consider
Oh my
them
God.
validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
How cool, man. My lord, dude.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now,
Does every
after
faction have a
today's
quest like
events,
this?
the Cabinet has decided to revisit its previous decision. We will be supporting your collection of the Terramorph data from the
Oh
archives,
my lord, dude.
as well
How
as a
cool.
subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major.
Whoa.
As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
I mean, if you're sure.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. Now,
I want that
we,
apartment.
of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Damage
I'm
to
gonna
the
go
space
check in with Chief Engineer
Dude.
CohhCarnage. Start
Awesome.
getting a plan together for that data.
Okay, you do that.
There are so many different groups across the settled systems, it's hard to keep up with all the work they're doing.
Guess?
It. Him.
These orders can't be. Yes. Yes, sir. Consider it done. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude.
I was also told the President wants us to get you into the Armistice archives ASAP. So, we've got no time to waste. You know what the archives are, correct?
Let's pretend I don't have the slightest idea.
Huh. All right, we'll start at the beginning. When the Colony War ended, the UC and Freestar Collective came to the agreement some weapons needed to be off limits. Mechs, xenowarfare. So they gathered up all the relevant research materials and sealed that information away.
We do know this. Okay.
Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice UC.
Okay.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Va'ruun. Get them both and you'll have your data.
Okay. You think they'd be clamoring for help after the spaceport attack?
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us.
Oh.
Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
Oh!
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Va'ruun?
Let's do Balmore.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Va'ruun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Va'ruun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Hey, yo. What's wrong?
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Va'ruun zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky.
I mean, I do too, that's fair.
That hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Va'ruun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Interesting. Okay.
It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
What?
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
What if he's dead?
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Okay. No one's actually been inside the embassy?
The embassy is still legally House Va'ruun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out.
I'll track him down.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, We received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Good. Robots and turrets. Okay. Let's do that one first. Tomorrow. Well, this has become incredibly interesting. I am more engaged with this quest than I think the main story, and this has been awesome. So we'll be doing this tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET. Surprise. We also have, I think, some fun stuff we may do with Dan's Gaming tomorrow afternoon. And then probably more Cozy Starfield, to be real. So anyway, thank you for being here. Have a great one. See you all later. And as always, appreciate your time. Bye-bye.